WLNS is here for you with 6 News this morning.
Well, good morning, Mid-Michigan. It is Tuesday, February 14th. I'm Jorma Duran.
And I'm Kira Lake. Thanks for joining us.
We're here for you now with the latest on the deadly shooting at Michigan State University. Authorities say 3 people are dead and 5 others injured after multiple shootings on the MSU campus. Police also say the person responsible died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound.
The first shooting happened just after 8 o'clock last night at Berkey Hall, and he then headed to his next location on campus where he continued his deadly attack.
Now, 2 of those who died were at Berkey Hall, and the 3rd was at the MSU Union. The 5 that are injured are now listed in critical condition. According to police, the suspect was a 43-year-old man with no affiliation to the university. He shot and killed himself after being confronted by police in the area of Lake Lansing Road and Larch Street. No names of victims or the suspect have yet to be announced.
Throughout the night, police were getting reports of shootings across campus, and this included IM East, which is a recreational center. But police say they only found victims at Berkey and the Union. MSU Interim Deputy Police Chief Chris Rosman says a lot of false information was called into police and circulating on social media.
Shortly after the first reports of shots fired, a shelter-in-place went into effect across East Lansing. But this is now over, and authorities say there is no longer a threat to the public.
During a press conference around 1:30 this morning, police provided a few details about the suspected gunman. So joining us now live with those details is 6 News reporter Nate Salazar. Nate, what can you tell us?
Well, Jorma and Kira, I'm out here on campus, and behind me you can see the MSU Union, which was one of the locations of the shooting. Now, Interim Deputy MSU Police Chief Chris Rosman says that the shooter had no affiliation to Michigan State University at all, not a student, not staff, and he also says that they have no speculation of any motive for the shooter. Interim MSU President Teresa Woodruff also spoke at a press conference at 1:30 this morning. She says that there will be no campus activities, and they've all been canceled for the next 48 hours, and there will be resources available for staff and students at the Hannah Community Center during that time. But Rosman says that this will be a time for healing for many, and there's still a lot of work to do.
There is no longer a threat to campus. We believe there to only be one shooter in this incident, and there is no longer a need to shelter in place on campus. This is still a fluid situation. There are several different crime scenes that we are processing with our state and federal partners, and there's a lot of work that still needs to be done.
Well, MSU police also tell me that the next press conference they'll be holding is at 8 a.m. this morning. 6 News will be there, and we'll bring you any new details that come out on air and online. Here for you in East Lansing, Nate Salazar, 6 News.
Nate, thank you very much. This deadly incident is hitting close to home and causing a lot of people to react.
And this morning, we're hearing from students who were on campus when this all happened. So joining us now live, also from MSU, is 6 News reporter Ray Sherman.
Good morning, Ray.
Good morning, or maybe I should just say morning, due to the fact that there were 3 people killed last night and 5 people were injured on that MSU's campus due to a deadly shooting that occurred. Now, 6 News reporters did have a chance to speak with some of those students that were part of the shooting, that were there witnessing it. Here's what they had to say.
When I looked down, I saw waves of people running towards me. I tried to fumble with the windows to let people in. I couldn't get it, so I ran to the door. We got a lot of people inside, and we took some people up to a safer place on the 3rd floor of Landon.
Telling each other, like, it doesn't feel real. I mean, especially because we're inside, we can't see everything. We're just listening to the police scanner and just looking at Twitter and the news. It's just unreal.
Now, this did hit a little bit too close to home due to the fact that the WNS station is just a few minutes away. We have some members, a part of our WNS team, that are alumni of MSU. We can only imagine what the victims are going through and what the victims' family and parents and friends are going through. But stay tuned to 6 News for more information you can follow today and the coming weeks. Here for you now, Ray Sherman, 6 News.
All right, Ray, thank you. Well, MSU University officials have now canceled all campus activities for the next 48 hours.
And in the wake of such a tragedy, multiple local school districts have canceled classes today as well. They include Lansing, East Lansing, Lansing Christian, Lansing Catholic, Ingham Intermediate Schools, Okemos, Waverly, Holt, and Hazlitt. This tragedy is causing a lot of reaction from Michigan's elected officials as well. Our Taylor Morris has the details on those statements this morning. Good morning, Taylor.
Jorma, that's right. Every elected official who is reacting to this tragedy is urging people to stay safe, let police do their work on campus, and support the people of East Lansing and MSU during this difficult time. Secretary of State Jocelyn Benson shared her condolences on Twitter, saying she is holding the entire MSU community in her heart. She also called for an action against what she called this repetitive terror. She says we must, quote, come together and do whatever it takes to protect our children and communities from gun violence. Congresswoman Alyssa Slotkin responded on Twitter as well, saying her team was in constant contact with local law enforcement during the initial response. She also urged the East Lansing community to follow police instructions and to stay safe. Attorney General Dana Nessel was reposting warnings and updates from MSU police and public safety on Twitter with warnings to help people stay safe. But so far, she has not personally responded to the shootings. Here for you in the studio, Taylor Morris, 6 News.
From Storm Tracker 6, this is Weather on the Sixes, sponsored by Auto Owners Insurance. Simple human sense.
Weather-wise, the first half of the day is expected to be fairly mild. We will see at least some form of sunshine before some cloud cover eventually moves in. That's set to start later on this afternoon. Temperatures outside still in the low 30s off to our north in Ionia, St. John's, and Owasso. A little bit cooler the further south that we go. 21 degrees, their current temperature over in Ann Arbor. Winds are still generally fairly calm, hovering right around 5 miles per hour. So no major wind chill we will need to think about this morning. But winds will be fairly gusty as we move throughout the rest of the day, right around 25 miles per hour for the wind gust this afternoon. A very quiet satellite and radar as we start the day off. There's a look at that low pressure system off to our west. After that cloud cover moves in this afternoon, it'll be followed by some evening rain showers. Those will mainly take place for the overnight hours tonight. So for today, high temperatures will make it up to 52 degrees. Almanac says that the average high for this time of year should be right around 33. Record high temperature, which is the main story that people are going to be really focusing on weather-wise for today, is right around 52 degrees. That was set back in 1918. So even with the rain, we do have a potential to break a record high temperature. Wow. I'm really hoping that we do, obviously.
May get really close at least today. But it's still, I'm going to say it again, raining in February. It's
I don't know what's going on.
It's wild. I don't know what's going on either.
I mean, this is, I will say, very typical for February. On average, we see around 2 50-degree days, but we have more in the forecast.
I like that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, the tragedy at MSU is now what the nation is talking about. After the break, we head back to East Lansing.
Thanks for watching 6 News this morning. We'll be right back.
The deadly shooting on the MSU campus is now the subject of national attention.
And CBS News correspondent Jared Hill is here for you now with the latest.
The search is over for what police say is a lone suspected shooter who went on a deadly rampage through Michigan State University last night. Officials say the suspect shot and killed himself as he was confronted by police off campus in nearby Lansing.
That 43-year-old male is not affiliated in any way with Michigan State University. He's not a student, faculty, staff. And we have no idea why he came to campus to do this.
A source tells CBS News multiple magazines and 2 guns were found with the suspect, though police have not confirmed those details.
I got a shot fire complaint at Berkey Hall.
Police swarmed the campus within minutes of the first reports of an active shooter just after 8 last night. Authorities say the victims were found in an academic building and a student union, both buildings open to the public. This video shows students fleeing Acres Dining Hall as police arrived.
We ran out, there were cops there, and they told us to go lay in a field.
State, local, and federal officers also responded to the shooting in a coordinated effort. The FBI says it's assisting the investigation as authorities work around the clock to figure out why this happened.
We are a community that is knit together by each other, and we will hold each other up.
All campus activities, including sporting events, are suspended for the next 2 days. Local K-12 schools in East Lansing, Michigan, are also closed today. Jared Hill, CBS News.
WLNS is here for you with 6 News this morning.
This truly has been a nightmare that we are living tonight.
Michigan State is mourning today after tragedy strikes the campus in the form of a mass shooting.
Good morning, Mid-Michigan. It's Tuesday, February 14th. I'm Kiera Lake.
And I'm Jorma Duran. Thanks for joining us.
And we're here for you now with several new updates on the deadly shooting at Michigan State University.
Authorities say 3 people are now dead and 5 others injured after multiple shootings on MSU's campus. Police say the man who they believe pulled the trigger is also dead.
The first deadly shooting started just after 8 o'clock last night at Berkey Hall, and then the shooter headed to his next location on campus at the MSU Union. 2
people were shot and killed at Berkey Hall, and the third was killed at the MSU Union. The 5 that are injured are listed in critical condition. Around 12:30 a.m. this morning, police announced during a press conference the suspect shot and killed himself after being confronted by officers in the area of Lake Lansing Road and Larch Street. No names of victims or the suspect have been announced.
Throughout the night, police were getting reports of shootings across campus, and this included IM East, which is a recreational center on campus. But police say they only found shooting victims at Berkey and the MSU Union. MSU Interim Deputy Police Chief Chris Rosman says a lot of false information was called into police and circulating on social media.
Shortly after the first reports of shots fired, a shelter-in-place went into effect across East Lansing, but this is now over, and authorities say there is no longer a threat to the public.
During another press conference around 1:30 this morning, police provided a few details about the suspected gunman. So joining us now live with those details is 6 News reporter Nate Salazar. Nate, what can you tell us?
Well, good morning, Kiera and Jorma. I'm out here, and actually behind me is the MSU Union, where part of the shooting took place last night. The police presence has died down since the shelter-in-place has been lifted, but there's still a lot more work to do, police officials tell me. Interim Deputy Police Chief with MSU Police Chris Rosman says the 43-year-old man is not affiliated in any way with Michigan State University, not student, not staff, and he also says that there is no suspected motive for the shooter that they know of at this time. Interim MSU President Teresa Woodruff also spoke at 1:30 press conference this morning. She says all campus activities have been canceled over the next 48 hours. But for now, Rosman says this will be a time for healing for many.
This truly has been a nightmare that we are living tonight. Our hearts are with those who have been affected by this senseless act of violence. As a father, I can only imagine how parents are feeling right now. The suspect in this incident was located outside of the MSU campus, and it does appear that that suspect has died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound.
Well, MSU police also tell me that they will have another media press conference at 8 a.m. and if they'll divulge any information, I don't know. 6 News will be there, and if there is any more information, we will bring that to you guys both on air and online. Here for you in East Lansing, Nate Salazar, 6 News.
Okay, Nate, we appreciate it. This deadly incident is hitting close to home and causing a lot of people to react.
And this morning, we're hearing from students who were on campus when this all happened. So joining us now live from East Lansing to report what they had to say is reporter Ray Sherman.
Good morning, Ray.
Good morning. We've been talking to MSU students to get a bigger picture and a broader sense of the emotional landscape that occurred following a deadly mass shooting that occurred on the MSU campus last night at 8 p.m. That left 3 people dead and 5 people critically injured. Here's what one student had to say, and they told 6 News reporters last night.
I mean, it's been absolutely crazy. You never think anything like this will happen until it does. Don't know what to do. Just text your loved ones. You love them. Hopefully see him again.
I don't know what to think. I thought I heard a shot. The gravity of the situation really hit me when I saw people flood into the building. We heard a lot of conflicting reports that there were multiple shooters, heard something about bomb threats. We took it seriously the whole time. We barricaded the room I was in, me and 4 other great guys. We barricaded in, kept the lights off, stayed low. Made sure we were in a room with windows that weren't facing the Union, since that's where we heard that most of the shooting was coming from, and then we started hearing all the other reports.
Now you can stay with 6 News today and for the rest of the week as we investigate this case more closely. You can stay with us on air, on our WNS website, or on our 6 News app. Reporting live from East Lansing, Ray Sherman, 6 News.
Well, Ray, we appreciate it. MSU University officials, as you just heard, have now canceled all campus activities for the next 48 hours.
And in the wake of such a tragedy, multiple school districts across mid-Michigan have also canceled classes today.
They include Lansing, East Lansing, Lansing Christian, Lansing Catholic, Ingham Intermediate Schools, Okemos, Waverly, Holt, and Hazlitt.
And as you've seen, Michigan State Police posted in real time their information to their social media accounts on Twitter, really, and held press conference during the response, providing us with lots of information about this incident.
But there are still some major unknown details that we hope to learn today.
And those include more details about the shooter, like his identity, why he chose MSU, and what kind of weapon he used, and his motive for carrying out this attack. We are also waiting to learn the identities of the victims who were killed and the updated conditions of the victims who are at Sparrow Hospital. If you know anything that could help police with this investigation, MSU PD want you to contact them and share that information. You can email them at the address right there on your screen. That's tips@police.msu.edu, or you can call in a tip to their line at 844-99-MSU-PD.
And stay with 6 News in the coming days. We're going to follow this investigation closely, and we'll keep you updated with the latest on air, online at WLNS.com, and on our 6 News app.
From Stormtracker 6, this is Weather on the Sixes, sponsored by Auto Owners Insurance. Simple human sense.
Well, the weather as we move throughout the rest of this week and even for today has a little bit of something for everybody. We're going to start off with some cooler temperatures, but eventually we could reach a potential record high by this evening. Right now outside, like I said, cooler than compared to where we were yesterday, right around 13 degrees cooler over in Jackson. Actual temperatures are still mainly sitting in the mid to upper 20s. They're just slightly warmer off to our north in the low 30s over towards St. John's. Satellite and radar going to be fairly quiet for at least the first half of the day before this low pressure system that is still off to our west will increase cloud cover, bring those rain showers for the overnight hours tonight. It's also going to increase our temperatures quite a bit. We will make it up to a potential high still in the low 50s, right around 52 degrees. It's also going to kick our wind speeds up as well, specifically later in the day today. Even winds going to be fairly gusty for tomorrow as well. Average high for today should be right around 33 degrees, but this is why the temperatures in the forecast for today are really impressive. Record high temperature is still right around 52 degrees, set all the way back in 1918. If we get just a little bit more sunshine than what I am expecting, we get 1 degree warmer and we break that record.
1 degree, that's all we need.
That's all it's going to take.
1 degree.
That's all.
I know.
All right, Kendall, we appreciate it. And coming up after the break, we'll tell you how Michigan's elected officials are reacting in the wake of MSU's campus mass shooting. The time now is in just turned 6:38. Thanks for watching 6 News this morning.
Reaction is also coming in this morning from Michigan's elected officials regarding the MSU mass shooting, all the way to the national level. Our Taylor Morris is here for you now with what some are saying. Taylor?
Jorma, the reactions from officials all have the same themes. They urged people to stay safe during the initial response and shared their condolences for the people of East Lansing and Spartan Nation. Governor Gretchen Whitmer, who is an MSU alum, shared on social media last night that she had been briefed on the shooting by police and officials on the ground. She added, quote, "Let's wrap our arms around the Spartan community." Members of Michigan's congressional delegation responded as well during the shooting. Senator Gary Peters said he and his staff were, quote, "closely tracking the horrifying shooting at Michigan State University and are in contact with local officials." He also urged students and the East Lansing community to stay safe and follow instructions from law enforcement. Attorney General Dana Nessel has been reposting warnings and updates from MSU police and public safety, urging people to stay safe, but has not personally responded to the shooting so far. Back to you guys.
And again, all morning and into the day, we'll be bringing you coverage of the deadly shooting that happened at Michigan State University last night. What we know right now is that the suspected shooter is dead from a self-inflicted gunshot wound, and there is no current threat to the public. If you know anything that could help police with this investigation, MSUPD want you to contact them and share that information. You can email the address right there on your screen. That's tips@police.msu.edu, or you can call their tip line at 844-99-MSUPD.
All right, well, coming up, we'll be here for you with another check of your 6-day forecast. But first, Kendall, how's traffic looking so far?
Well, there are no major slowdowns on the roadways, but we do have a couple of hazards over towards Michigan State University and some road closures piling up over towards Lake Lansing Road. Otherwise, no major incidents this morning or slowdowns on the roads. We'll give you a full check of the forecast coming up right after the break.
From Storm Tracker 6, this is Weather on the Sixes, sponsored by Auto Owners Insurance. Simple human sense.
Temperatures outside this Tuesday morning are still on the cooler side of things because of the clear skies that we saw last night. But for that same reason, those clear skies, we are expecting a lot of sunshine today. So those temperatures are actually going to get fairly warm fairly fast. Over at the Capitol right now, we're beginning to see the first hints of sunlight right now. Temperatures are sitting right at 28 degrees. We still have those relatively calm wind speeds in place right now across most of the area. So no major wind chill we need to factor in this morning. 29 for your current temperature over in Grand Ledge. No sustained winds or wind gusts to speak of from our sensor at least. Over in Hillsdale, you're still sitting with temperatures in the upper 20s. There's a lot of moisture available in the atmosphere. Later on, that's going to translate over into eventually some rain showers. Current humidity in Hillsdale is up to 89%. Over in Jackson right now, we are still dealing with clear skies, hence the cooler temperatures in the mid-20s. But again, we still have those calm winds in place. However, those winds are actually going to be on the increase as we move throughout, specifically the second half of the day. Over in St. John's, 31, feeling just 1 degree cooler outside with current winds only at 2 miles per hour coming out of the south-southeast. Satellite and radar right now is going to remain fairly quiet for the rest of this morning at least. We are still expecting a lot of sunshine, and that's going to help out our temperatures. Also, this low pressure system that we are tracking, also associated with the warm front, will help us to hang on to those warm temperatures even as we move throughout the day tomorrow. We're going to see a lot of sunshine again in the first half of the day. Later on this afternoon, that cloud cover will eventually build in, looking at nearly complete cloudy conditions as we move throughout the evening. Then right around 6 or 7 o'clock later today, that's when those rain showers are finally going to begin. It's not going to be a very widespread event, not expecting a lot in terms of rainfall totals, just a couple of lighter scattered rain showers as we move throughout the overnight hours tonight. Wednesday, we do look mainly dry. However, there is the potential to dodge maybe a couple of isolated sprinkles just in time for your Wednesday morning commute. But in terms of weather for today, that is really going to be it. For Wednesday, other than those showers in the morning, we will dry things out. Partly cloudy conditions in the forecast for then. Then Thursday, that's when things get a little bit interesting for us. As of right now, the current models have another low pressure system tracking just off to the south of the state line. That puts us here in mid-Michigan right in the middle. So we are forecasting a rain and snow mix in the area. Depending on how this system actually moves through, we could be seeing some more rain if it tracks off to our north, or some more snow if it just goes a little bit south than what we are currently predicting. Rainfall totals for today, trace amounts maybe up to 1/4 inch at most. But for tomorrow, even though it's going to be dry, it is also going to be fairly gusty. Wind advisories will be in place starting right around 1 o'clock tomorrow morning. Gusts of up to 45 miles per hour possible. They are going to decrease fairly fast as we move into your Thursday morning, however. Highs will make it up to 52 degrees for today, a potential record-breaking day in terms of temperatures. Later on tonight, still going to be fairly warm. Overnight lows only falling down to 46. 6-day forecast shows we're still fairly warm tomorrow before that rain and snow mix brings some cooler temperatures to the area. We'll go from highs in the low 50s to the upper 20s for Friday. Then we are right back with above average highs just in time for the weekend. The current time just turned 6:49. We'll be right back with 6 News this morning.
From Storm Tracker 6, this is Weather on the Sixes, sponsored by Auto Owners Insurance. Simple human sense.
The forecast for the rest of this week going to have a lot of ups and downs. Today and tomorrow we will still hang on to some fairly warm temperatures, and then eventually a low pressure system moves in on Thursday. The potential for some snow followed by some temperatures below freezing for Friday. Right now outside we are still in the mid to upper 20s across the board for the majority of the lower peninsula. 28 degrees in Lansing, 25 the current temperature down in Jackson. Precision Cast will show we still are expecting at least some form of sunshine this morning, followed by cloud cover, and then those rain showers eventually moving in later on this evening. They're not going to stick around for long, just a couple of scattered showers, mainly for the overnight hours tonight. Rainfall totals should only be right around 1/4 of an inch for most of us in the area. After those showers eventually leave Wednesday morning, we are left with sunshine, followed by eventually that rain and snow mix. That is forecasted currently to move in starting Thursday afternoon, but again, there's still a lot of time for that system to change the timing and actually the location of it. Highs for today will make it up to 52 degrees. 52 is also the record high for today. 6-day forecast shows still in the low 50s for tomorrow. Then those cooler temperatures moving in for Friday, right around the upper 20s before more sunshine and highs in the low to mid 40s return for the weekend.
All right, we appreciate it. And before you step away from your TV, here are some of today's top stories.
Well, and as you've seen, Michigan State Police posted real-time information to social media about the MSU mass shooting and held press conferences during the response, providing us with lots of information about this incident. But there are still some major unknown details that we'll hope to learn today. Those include more details about the shooter, like his identity, why he chose MSU, what kind of weapon he used, and his motive for carrying this all out. We're also waiting to learn the identities of the victims who were killed and the updated conditions of the victims at the hospital.
Yeah, we just mentioned there that there have been press conferences since last night, starting, at 11 o'clock, and we are having a press conference, or we're learning of a press conference that will be happening at 8 o'clock. So that's just an hour from now. We'll be live with that. So make sure you stay with us both on air and online. We'll be sure to give you guys updates all morning. Again, this is still an active situation. We were hearing from MSU police that they're still investigating multiple crime scenes, so a lot to keep our eyes on.
And again, as she just mentioned, 8 a.m. is when we expect that live press conference to start. We will be here for you with those details. And a reminder, if you're watching us on WLNS, CBS Mornings is next. Reporters for CBS Mornings are here in mid-Michigan, so we're going to get a bunch of reports from them. If you're watching on WLAJ, it's Good Morning America.
And don't forget to tune in at 6 News at noon. We'll share with you any updates we have. Thanks for watching 6 News this morning.